Hi friends, welcome to Linux lectures. So in this video we are going to discuss Linux system initialization. It means Linux booting process. So what is RHL boot process? Red Hat Enterprise Linux boot process. Boot process consists of the set of processes from power on the PC to login prompt comes. It meaning when will you power on the machine? After few moments you able to get a login prompt. So in between the RHL crosses different stages, right? So that stages are called as Linux boot process. So once you power on the machine, after few moments you see the Linux login prompt, right? So in between what happened? So means the following steps are high level stages of typical Linux boot process. The first one is BIOS. It stands for basic input output system, and the second one is MBR, master boot record, and the third stage is bootloader. It means grub2, and fourth stage is kernel, and fifth stage is init or systemd, and seventh stage is and sixth stage is run levels or systemd targets. Okay, I will explain each and every stage one by one. Now first one is BIOS. So what is the full form of BIOS? Basic input output system. In the stage 1, when we power on the machine, BIOS performs a post, that is power on self test. It will check all hardware properly working or not, right? So means you attached in this stage, you attached the what hard disks and RAM and external devices and lot of hardwares. Means once you power on the machine, first it will check the what, it will run the what post power on self test. So it will check the what all hardware connectivities. Once all hardware connectivities are correct, then system it will gives the what one beep sound. So the meaning is all hardware connectivities are correct, and BIOS then searches for bootable device. So that is called what low MBR. So MBR stands for master boot record. But ultimately in this stage what I am saying, power on self test is executed. Once power on self test is executed, then it is selecting the what MBR. That is called what master boot record. But basically this master boot record is located in the first sector of the bootable disk. So you know that already system booting system hard disk naming conversions. So slash DE HDA in case the hard device type is IDE, then HDA, and SATA means SDA, and virtual means VXDA, and cloud means XVDA. So like different hard drives. But the MBR is sitting in each first disk, like it is called what your operating system first disk, in the first sector of the bootable disk. So it is the what sitting in your first hard disk, the first 512 bytes. So the MBR is only 512 bytes in the size. So that 512 bytes are located in the first sector of the bootable disk. But that 512 bytes are completely divided into three subphases. The first one is bootloader with 446 bytes, and the second one is partition table with 64 bytes, and the third one is error checking with 2 bytes. So overall the 512 bytes are divided into three subphases. So bootloader stage, partition table stage, and error checking purpose, and it continues information about grub2. So means the MBR continues it's selecting the bootable grub2 device, that is called what, bootable device. So that mbr loads the what, grub. So that is called what, in the latest operating systems, grub2 is the what, bootable bootloader. But actually the grub stands for grand unified bootloader, and grub2 is the default bootloader program in all latest versions of Red Hat, and it displays a splash screen, waits for few seconds for choosing kernel you would like to boot your machine. So grub2 configuration file is /boot /grub2 /grub.cfg. Actually this is the what, grub configuration file. Okay, after mbr is loaded, the mbr calls the what, grub actually. But up to Red Hat 6, the bootloader file name is grub. So that is grand unified bootloader. But 7 onwards, and Red Hat 7 onwards, in Red Hat 8 even latest operating systems, the grub2 renamed with, sorry, grub is renamed with grub2. So grub2 is the what, default bootloader program in all latest versions of Red Hat. Okay, in this stage it loads the what, vmlinux kernel image, and also extract the what, content of initramfs file, initramfs image. Actually initramfs means initialization ram disk. It will load the what, the temporary file systems until real root file system is mounted. Okay, so that is the what, grub2. In the grub2 stage you will get a what, flash screen. See this, after power on the machine, so within few seconds you get a like it is called what, 5 4 3 2 1 0. In the latest operating systems the values are starts from 60 59 58 1 minute values. So that is called what, splash screen. So in the splash screen the peoples wait for what, selecting the what, kernel, for selecting kernel. So like by default one kernel is there, and if you maintain multiple kernels you can select the what, maybe kernel version 3 4.5 now, 4.3 now, 4.2 like that. So means multiple kernels in the stage. But originally in the stage grub2 configuration file is located in /boot grub2 grub.cfg file. And once grub is completed, the grub calls the what, kernel. So the grub calls the what, kernel. So in the Linux kernel is the central core of the OS, which will control overall operating system. That's why kernel is the what, heart of Linux operating system. So kernel initializes the first process, that is init. So till RHEL 6, but systemd from RHEL 7. So the old versions of Linux operating system means up to RHEL 6 init is the program, but init is renamed with systemd from RHEL 7, from RHEL 7. So in the latest operating systems, so not init, the program name is what, systemd. So kernel initializes the what, the first process is the what, systemd. Then initrd is used by kernel as temporary root file system until kernel is booted and the real root file system is mounted. So in this case, so it will read the what, /etc/fstab file. It maintains permanent mount points information. So that's why the by default initrd, initialization ram disk, the full form of initrd means initialization ram disk, is used by kernel as temporary root file system until the kernel is booted and the real root file system is mounted. So finally initramfs or initrd gets decompressed and then it first loads temporary file system. It first loads temporary file system. But the repeated interview question in this phase, what is the first program in the Linux operating system? So what is the first process in the Linux operating system? So the first process in the Linux, init actually in the old systems, but you have to say in the latest operating systems, systemd. So means that's why the systemd or init maintains the id value of 1. So the first process id value in the Linux is the what, 1 of the what, systemd. So now it loads necessary driver modules from initrd image and it starts system's first process, that is called what, systemd. So you want to check the what, first process id value, then PID of is the command space systemd, then you will get the what ID value 1. Otherwise you can check the what the PID value of systemd in the top command, or you can use the what pspace-ef command to check the what PID values. And then once kernel is successfully completed, the kernel calls the what systemd process, because the kernel loads the what systemd. So in the systemd what happened, that is called what, it is the first process that runs in the system with process ID of 1. It is the first process that runs in the system with process ID of 1, and also known as the parent process, responsible for starting all the other processes. So responsible for starting all the other processes. And systemd processes reads the configuration file of /etc/systemd system default.target, then it's load the OS in targeted run level dot target. So now in this stage what I am saying here, so I told you init is the first program in the Linux, or in the latest operating system systemd is the what first process in the Linux operating system, that ID value is occupied with 1, and the init also known as the parent process. Then what is the responsibility of this parent process? So it's starting all other processes, right? So now in that case it reads configuration file the /etc/systemd directory, actually the all services under /etc/systemd directory, and it reads files linked by /etc/systemd/systemd/default.target. So actually we have a one configuration file /etc/systemd/system/default.target. Okay, so this is default.target. So in that case, so the every default run levels are here only, but by default the run levels are here, the 3 and 5. So the beautiful run levels in the Linux operating system, either run level 3 or run level 5 only. So actually what is the run levels? So run levels or systemd targets are state of a machine that defines how a machine should be logged in, and what services and scripts should run when a machine starts, right? So now run levels are defined from init 0 to 6 only. So actually 7 run levels are there, but every run level starts with init space 0, init space 1, init space 2, init space 3 up to init space 6. But init stands for initialization, so initialization 0, initialization 1, like that. But systemd uses targets. So targets means run levels, but basically up to Red Hat 6. So means till Red Hat 6 the concept name is run levels, but 7 onwards the name is with systemd. So that's why systemd targets. So systemd uses targets instead of run levels. See this the clear point. But by default there are two main targets, but actually 7 targets are there, but main two targets are multi-user.target, graphical.target. So these two are the what run level 3 and run level 5. Actually run level 3 is a real time server, like it is called running only command line interface, but you want to get a graphical interface, you will keep it the what run level 5. So run level 5 is the graphical mode, and run level 3 is the what multi user target. So these are the what run levels, but base actually 7 run levels, but run level 3 and run level 5 are important. But by default run level is the what 3 in the real time servers, but in your desktop instance by default run level 5, right? So what are the run levels? So here systemd targets are run levels. So previous versions of RHEL, a predefined set of run levels from 0 to 6 that presented specific modes of operations. Starting with RHEL 7, the concept of run levels has been replaced with systemd targets, but systemd targets are represented by target units. So target units end with the .target file extension. So here The old operating system names, like it is called what, run levels are init 0, init 1, init 2, init 3, init 4, init 5, init 6. But now in the latest operating systems, so run levels are replaced with what, target units. So now here run level 0 dot target, that is power off dot target. Run level 1 dot target, it is a rescue dot target. Run level 2 dot target, it is a multi user target. So means actually what is the run level 0? It is a shut down the mission, that is called what, power of a target. If you execute init space 1, that is called what, run level 1 dot target, you will get a what, rescue mode. That is rescue mode means it is mainly for troubleshooting of the OS. And run level 2, it is a multi user target. And run level 3, multi user target. And run level 4, also multi user target. But run level 2 and run level 4 actually unused modes, so that's why run level 3 is important. Even network operations also working in the what, run level 3. And run level 5, you know that that is a graphical dot target. And run level 6 is the what, reboot dot target, means you want to reboot your server, so you can use run level 6. Or you want to shut down the machine, it is a run level 0. So you want to get a more description here, shutdown and power of the system of the what, run level 0. So set up your rescue cell, it is a run level 1. And run level 2 is a what, non graphical multi user system. And also run level 3 and also run level 4, but the small differences are there. In the run level 2, so network operations are not working, and actually run level 4 is unuser mode. So now I will show you how to apply the run levels. Okay, how to apply the run levels, where exactly run levels are located. In the slash etc init tab is the what, file name, that is called what, initialization table. So this table maintains the what, run levels. Actually see this, so multi user dot target, so now it is a what, and logs to run level 3. So now it is a graphical dot target is the what, run level 5. But by default system run level is, it is a 5, because it is a what, run level 5. So how do you know that default run level? So now systemctl get hyphen default. So this is the word to getting a what, run level. What is the run level here? So now graphical dot target. Otherwise you can run the what, just use run level is the command. So what is the run level? Run level 5. Then otherwise who space hyphen r. So what is your current run level? The run level is a 5. So these are the commands to verify the what, run levels. So by default it is a run level 5. So we can use systemctl and run levels, otherwise directly we can use init space 6, it is a reboot mission, or init space 0, it shut down the mission. And like you want to get a single user mode, init space 1, and init space 3, it is what, run level 3. See this, the system will going to run level 3. So run level 3 is the what, CLI mode. So now just log in the machine, username root, and now password of the user. So what is this run level? So then you check it run level. So actually the current run level is 3, but the previous run level is 5. Now you switch it to run level 3 from 5. So how to go run level 5? Then we can use the what, init space 5. Or you want to reboot the server, init space 6. You want to shut down the server, init space 0. Now if I reboot it, init space 6 is the command. So in the previous editions init is the command, in the latest editions systemd is the what, systemd dot targets. But actually both are working in the latest editions, init also working and systemd targets also working, both are working. That's why we can use init command or systemd targets. Now rebooting the machine. Okay, now successfully rebooted and log in your machine. So this is the way to applying the what run levels. So basically, how to check the run levels? Run level is the command or who space hyphen r. Otherwise, system serial space get default. It get run level, so it will check the what default run level. So now my current run level is 5 because it is a GUI. So now based on this booting process, so I will show you some troubleshooting options. So how to get a password recover, that is in case you forget the what root password, how can you recover the root password? And in case MBR is missing, then how can you recover the MBR? In case any file system error, how can you troubleshoot it? And how to protect root user password? So now I will show you some troubleshooting options based on this system boot process. Okay, the first troubleshooting option, I lost my root user password, then how can I break it? So what I'm saying here, so if you forget your root user password, then how to break it? Okay, I'm trying to log in with my root user, but I forgot my root user password. Then how can you break the root user password? So then the first important thing, the first step is boot into single user mode by appending the what command line during boot with the following single user mode. Okay, first we need to restart the what your VM. Restart the VM. So while getting boot prompt, like in the word boot flash screen, so 59, 58, 57 seconds are there. Just you need to interrupt the word boot screen. Right, in that case, so now here is the options in the below, like observe, here is the options. So what are those? Use the up and down arrow keys to change the what selection, press E to edit the what selected item, or C for a command prompt. So now I want to change the boot options, so that's why press E. And then you got a what one beautiful option, that is called what Linux line. So that is called what Linux line option. So in the second step is, so after pressing E and go for the what end of the Linux E mode. Okay, now I'm going to the what end of the what second line. Okay, after end of the line you will keep it the what the line name is, so rd dot break. So rd dot break is the option, so just keep it rd dot break, and then control x is the option to save it. Now we are breaking the what root user password, so what is the option? Control x is the option to save it. Okay, then after getting the what hash prompt, just run the command here /sysroot. /sysroot is the option, it is getting a read write mode. Okay, here cd space /sysroot. So after sysroot, then you can run the command mount space -o remount comma rw remount comma rw space /sysroot. right? So this is the command you are getting the what read write permissions. By default the root file system with read only mode, so now you are setting the what read write mode. Okay, success. After that we can use the command chroot space sysroot, then enter. So successfully done. Now in that case you change the what password space your username root. Now what is the new password? I am setting the what new password here, then again confirmation password. So now you successfully change the what root password. And after that the one more important thing, after changing root password you must keep it under the what root directory auto.relabel file, auto.relabel file to change the what timestamp. Fine, then you exit it, and one more time you exit, then automatically it will reboot it. So this is called what to changing root user password, that is getting breaking root user password. Right, so now successfully rebooted, and try to log in with your machine with your username root and password what you changed it recently. Success. Now your machine successfully logged in with new root user password. But if you know the process, then everyone easily to break the what root user password. Then where is the root password security? So now in this level there is no password security. Then how can you protect, how can you provide the what security of your root user password? Then I will show you the one more important procedure. So now I am saying password of security of root user password. So that is secure root user password. So you want to protect the what root user password, and must you need to keep the what entries under grub file, because you are breaking the what root password in the stage of grub level. So that's why you protect the what grub2 password. So now first step is in the cd slash boot, go for grub2 to location. Under grub2 location you check it the what ls, we have a one file. What is the file name? Like it is called what grub.cfg file is there, that is the what main configuration file. But once you create your once you run the command name is grub2 grub2 hyphen set password is the command. So set password is the command. So now I am running the command. So set up the what password. For example, the password is red hat here, red hat 123. So now confirmation password red hat 123. So now successfully generated the what root user password. So grub2 password, then you check it the what ls. So automatically user.cfg file is created. So automatically in the previous there is no user.cfg file, but after generating grub2 set password command, so it creates user.cfg file. That user.cfg file maintains your grub password details. So now this is completely grub password file. Now you reboot the machine, you reboot it and try to break the what root user password now. Now try to break the what root user password here, press enter e, then it is asking what enter the what username and password. right? So this is the what security. Now you enter the what current username, and even you give the what any wrong password, it is not accepted. Okay, again you press E, you give the what root user, and if you give the what exact password, then only it will open the what things. Okay, this is the what security of the root password. Okay, you must generate the what user.cfg file. That cfg file maintains the what grub2 configuration file security. And then the third important thing, the one more troubleshooting in the environment, repair the file system. So repair the file system means in case any mistakes under etc fstab file. So means in the file system table, if you done any mistakes, maybe in the block IDs or file system names or default values or any something is went to wrong, then you able to get your what error message while booting the operating system. So what kind of error messages? Then it is a maybe control D error is what error message. So when we have a inconsistency to the file of etc fstab and the file system listed by blk id utilities, and then the system will go to rescue mode only. The system will go to rescue mode only. So now to troubleshoot this problem, provide the root password for the maintenance. So when we provide the what root password correctly, then a shell prompt will be appended. So now I will show you what I am saying here. Okay. Okay. So what I'm saying here. So any mistakes under etc fstab file. So now actually we have a file etc fstab file. So in the fstab file, okay, something is mistake, like maybe it is a swap file system or var file system. Okay, something is missing, 79 is missing. Okay, so now escape shift colon wq. Okay, if I reboot the machine, what happen? Observe. So when we have a what inconsistency to the fstab file, then system will go to rescue mode. Now observe what happened here. Any mistakes under etc fstab file, the system will goes to rescue mode only. Then how can you troubleshoot it here? Just wait for a few moments, you will get error. right. See that you have an error. So what is the error? So here see system CTL status RPC after logging journal CTL. So now system CTL reboot to rescue is the what mode. So to boot into default mode. So give root password for maintenance. So press Ctrl D to continue. So now you want to troubleshoot here. Then what is the option? First for maintenance you use the what root password. So to give the what root password, then it will provide the what one shell prompt will be opened. So means it will open the what one shell prompt. So in this moment, so you need to change the what fstab file. So now what are the mistakes in the fstab file, you will correct it. Okay, maybe the mistake is here 79 is missing, because you know that already. So 79 is missing. Now try to save and quit. So now you successfully saved the what file. But in case it is not open the what fstab file, maybe sometimes the fstab file open with read only mode only, then you can run the what command mount space -o remount comma rw space slash. Why? Because by default the etc fstab file maintains read only mode, so you must give the what read write mode for editing this fstab file. So that's why remount the what file system with read write. Once okay, then we can open the what etc fstab file and add the values. Otherwise so in the mistake line you will keep it the word as prompt also. So sometimes people will keep it the word has prompt, means while booting the operating system not recognized this particular line. So but the hash prompt is not good for slash boot var, because these three are related to what operating systems. So that's why you must troubleshoot the what options of BL key values or file systems, or it is a mount points. But the user defined mount points are, you will keep it with what hash prompt. Okay, now you successfully troubleshoot the what var mount point, then you can save and quit and run the command mount -a, maybe it is perfect or not, then you can reboot the what machine. Perfect. Right, see this, the machine successfully booted. You won't see any errors on the screen. Right, so this is called what etc fstab file troubleshooting, password consistency troubleshoot. Thank you.